So the WNBA season the regular season has ended. We've done our playoff predictions, and today I'm going to be doing my WNBA Awards. Again, obviously, I'm not a voter, but we are going to be talking about it here. So it is going to be interesting to see. So I'm going to be going over the rookie team, the two defensive teams, two all W teams, and then my final awards. So for me, we're going to start off with the all rookie team. And the obvious first member is Caitlin Clark. The most obvious member of the all-rookie team is going to be Clark. Caitlin Clark averaging 19.2, which was 19.5 before she only scored 8 points because she played 20 minutes yesterday. 19.2, 6 boards, 8.5 assists per game. Obviously the rookie of the year, the most obvious inclusion in the all-rookie team. This is as much of an obvious inclusion as putting A'ja Wilson on the all-W first team. Very, very obvious. So I will say Caitlin Clark is without question in on this team. And if you guys agree, subscribe. We're trying to hit 36.2k by the end of the day, and we are now 42 off. But anyway, so second member of the all-rookie first team, or the all-rookie team, I'm going to put in Leni Fibic. So this is where it gets kind of tricky because there are 4 obvious ones and there are 1 not so obvious one. Leni Fibic is my not so obvious one. I think there's an argument to be made. You could maybe argue Alia Edwards. You can argue Julie Vanloo. But I think it's Fibic. Heck, maybe there's a flimsy argument for JC Sheldon. But like a lot of people are going to give... She might win D6 Player of the Year. I think she's been much better as a starter and coming off the bench. But like there are times when you see there, she had 16 points this game. Like there have been games where she's been the best player on the Liberty. We saw in the Olympics, she is not that far off Satu as far as a player is concerned. And I think she's restricted free agent this year. If you guys don't know, the Sky had her rights. The Sky traded her rights. She comes over to Liberty and instantly becomes one of the better players in the WNBA. I'm a huge fan of Fibic as a player, so I'm going to put her on the rookie team. Obviously, Cardoso's there. She averaged 10 and 8 nearly, and by the end of the season, she was like a walking 15 and 10. Started off a little bit slowly. The motor is not quite there. Finishing's a little bit iffy. She's just huge. She's huge. She's got good, like, her IQ is there. She's a good passer. I don't think she ever averages 20 a game. She's not going to be like Brittany Griner leading the W in scoring. What she is a very nice passer, a big body, and somebody that is going to be a force in the paint for this Chicago team for years to come. Then, obviously, Angel Reese. Like, 13 and 13 is very impressive for a rookie. Not top 10 rookie seasons of all time impressive. Like, that was wild. There is no circumstance where she had a better rookie year than Leah Boston. There is no circumstance where she had a better rookie year than all W first team rookie. What's her name? Steward. Steward made the all W first team at ESPN. Actually said that Angel Reese had a better rookie season than her, which is wild. I'm just saying. That is wild. But brilliant rookie year, obviously in the all-rookie first team. Then we have got Rickea Jackson. Again, great end to the season. She averaged like 16 points per game post-Olympic break. She had a much better end to the season than she had start to the season. But she didn't even have the worst start to the season at the end of the day. I just thought she's somebody that is a great scorer. Doesn't do too much else well at the minute, but when she figures it all out, she could lead league in scoring in 2 years' time, and I wouldn't be shocked. Now we are on to the all-defensive teams. So we're going to start the all-defensive first team with Alyssa Thomas. Alyssa Thomas is going to be starting our all-defensive team. She is a good defender. She's very close to averaging that elusive triple single. She's probably the best. In my opinion, the second best defender on the best defensive team. She's kind of their defensive anchor, and she's just very, very good on that end of the floor. Offensively, I think she's a liability. I don't rate her as high as a player as a lot of people do, but I mean, a lot of people rate her very, very highly that know a lot about the sport, so I'm probably wrong on this one. Obviously, A'ja Wilson, you don't lead the league in blocks and do what she has done as far as a help defensive player is concerned without being on the all-defensive first team. Fee Collier, statistically the best defender in the WNBA. Her on-off numbers are crazy. The Minnesota Lynx and the Connecticut Sun are effectively tied for best defense. There's almost nothing to separate them. And again, if you take out the games where Fee Collier didn't play, the Lynx are the best defensive team in the W. It's not just all about the stats, which A'ja Wilson obviously trumps her in. She's a better switcher. She's more versatile on defense. She fits her team system more because she can guard center. She can guard guards. She's switching. This is a team where they got a lot of bigs. You've got Alana Smith who can guard bigs, guard smalls. You got so many just options on defense, and she's that anchor. She allows you to play whatever defense you want. The only guard I have in the all defensive first team is Dejanay Carrington. I think she's the best defensive guard in the W. She's strong, she's fast, and she has as quick hands as anyone I've seen in the W this year. So, yeah, she's going to be in there as the only guard. Then, Ezi Magbagor. I think Ezi Magbagor, she's my pick for DPOY. I know it's probably going to go to Fee Collier. Don't mind it. Going to A'ja Wilson. I think A'ja Wilson's not as good a defender as Ezi Magbagor. There is no center that I've seen scare the bejesus out of Aaliyah Boston more than Ezi Magbagor. When I watch this team play, players are scared to go at her. When I watched her in the Olympics, teams are scared to go at her. Like, there's no other player because Brittany Griner's foot speed isn't fast enough. Like, she's not good enough to stay in front of people enough to really stop that. Like, she can't really stay in front of people enough that it's not like that she's not negative in some way. Whereas Ezi Magbagor's got the foot speed, she's a shot blocker, she alters shots. I genuinely do think that Ezi Magbagor she's superb as a player. I'm really, really high on Ezi Magbagor. I think that she's without question all defensive first team. She'd be my pick for DPOY, but again, I probably haven't watched enough Storm games. I've watched more Lynx games than I've watched Storm games, and it's just in the Storm games I played, she scares the bejesus out of anyone that goes into the paint. For the second team, we got Breanna Steward. Stewie, again, it's like when she wants to play defense, she is really, really good. And the Liberty have been a better defensive team than another player. Like, for me, it was between I had in my honorable mentions for the second team, I have Angel Reese. I think Stewie, when is a better defender than Angel Reese, but they both sometimes prioritize their offense to the extent detriment of their defense. And one player for the all defensive second team, I'm really conflicted on this because I don't know if Jordan Canada's played enough games. As she played 5-6 games before the Olympics. Like, she might have only played 25 games this year. So this one is a really tricky one when it comes to Jordan Canada. Because I don't think the argument is that she's not been one of the best defensive players. I think she's been exceptional on that end. Anytime I've watched her dream, I think her defense has been so good. But at the same time, has Brittany Sykes played enough games? I don't think Ariel Atkins has really been good enough to make an all-defensive team this year. Skylar Diggins, Jordan. And then there's the Jordan Horston problem, where Jordan Horston was basically yeeted out of the lineup. She would have been on my all-defensive team. So it's like, this last spot again, I kind of want to give more than one guard a shout-out. But if you have, for example, like an Angel Reese or a Kayla McBride in, fair enough. And and this is just from the eye test from watching these teams play. Anytime I watch the Dream play, she gives point guards nightmares. Then we got Tash Cloud. No question about this. No question, Natasha Cloud on the all defensive team. She's a switchable defender. She's 5'10". She started off guarding Aaliyah Boston against the Fever. Like, she'll guard power forwards. I reckon she'll guard Fee Collier when they played him in the playoffs. She'll guard anyone from point guards to centers. She's tough as nails. She is a fantastic, and I mean this, fantastic player on the defensive end. And if the Liberty are to beat the Lynx, a lot of it's going to come down to her and her defense. I don't think she was robbed of an all-star, but I do think she could have very easily been an all-star. I'm a big, big fan of Natasha Cloud. Then we have got Jonquel Jones. Between her and Stewie, I think they're the two most important players on a pretty good defensive Liberty team. Two of them, Benanja Laney, averaging 14.2 and 9, an all-star, most MVP a couple of years ago. No question about that. She's gonna be on, in my opinion, she's gonna be on probably she's probably gonna be on the All W team and on the All Defensive team. And then we have got my honorable mention for the All W first team, and this is the problem when it comes to these defensive things. It's like Alana Smith has been one of the best players in the WNBA this year. She should have been an All-Star. She should be on an all-defensive team. She should be in the conversation for all WNBA. The problem is, if you do not watch the Minnesota Lynx play, you don't realize how good she is. This Minnesota Lynx team is nowhere close to being the best team in the WNBA without her. Like we saw, when they lost that time to Dallas, it was not because Fee Collier was missing. She was there. It was because Alana Smith was missing. And she's not the best player on the Lynx, but the Lynx does not function without Alana Smith. They are better without Fee Collier than they are without Alana Smith. Even though obviously they're like Fee's the best player when they both play together. She's the most important player for that team. On the defensive end, the offensive end, she does a little bit of everything. She would have been, ironically, the perfect player. If the Chicago Sky had kept her, she'd be the perfect power forward to pair with Angel Reese. She'd be the perfect power forward to pair with Cardoso. The problem is that she's better than both of them, and she would have to be like the starter. Like she would have to be the starter. She's the best of the three of them. But she is the perfect complementary 4-5 with Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso. But obviously can't play the three of them at the same time. But for me, on the defensive end, her and Fee Collier have been two of the best defense players in the W. And Kayla McBride is in with shouts for this team, but nah, I'll stick with that. Now we're going to go to the all WNBA teams. And obviously, we're going to start with AJ Wilson on the first team. The first team is very obvious for most people. There are 4 players that every single person is going to have. And it's going to be, if you don't have these 4 players, 1 through 4 in your MVP ranking, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Order, I don't really care. It's AJ Wilson, Caitlin Clark. Obviously. Caitlin Clark. Through the last 25 games of the season, Caitlin Clark and AJ Wilson have been neck and neck. It's just through the first, I'll say this. They've been neck and neck for MVP since the first 15 games of the season. The only issue is that AJ's first 15 games were so much better than Caitlin Clark's that I don't think you can really debate Caitlin Clark for MVP. But if you want to debate best player in the world, that's an entirely different debate. And if you want to say, oh, but like AJ's team beat Caitlin Clark's team 4 times. Yeah, they should. They're back-to-back champions. And in those last 2 games back-to-back, neither of them were good. Like, AJ Wilson wasn't good. Neither was Caitlin Clark. Neither of them were good. Obviously, Fee Collier. And the MVP train kind of slowed down just basically as they start winning games, they just start cooking. But no doubt about it. First team. Last year's MVP, Stewie. Yeah, like 20 and 9, obviously first team. And my last member of the All-W first team, I'll go Nneka Nwumeke. I'll go Nneka. I think she's been great for the Storm. It's a really tough one because you could have Nneka Nwumeke, you could have Sabrina Ionescu, you could have like Ka Copper, and there are a good few players. If we were only judging post-Olympic break, you could probably have Kelsey Mitchell there. But no, I'll put Nneka Nwumeke as that spot. Kayla McBride is probably the one player that I'd be like most want to put in, but no, I'll stick with that. And now my second team, the players that I would say are honorable mentions for my second team, Alana Smith and Kelsey Mitchell. I think Alana Smith being that such an important player, and I will say this, like I think Alana Smith if we're talking about like the statless players, like that all the like praise that Alyssa Thomas gets for her almost triple single, like I think Alana Smith is better than Alyssa Thomas. I don't rate Alyssa Thomas, but she's going to be on an all-W team. I think she's a liability on offense. But yeah, Kelsey Mitchell and Alana Smith are my 2, especially Kelsey Mitchell. I feel really bad about the Kelsey Mitchell one. But over the course of the season, I think we owe Ka Copper. Another honorable mention is Jackie Young, who again really slowed down post-Olympic break. Ka Copper averaging 21, 4, and 2. As far as the scorer is concerned, she was really good. She's in here over Enrique Agumbawale because she did it more efficiently. Like, she scored more efficiently, basically scored the same amount of points, and her team was not last in the WNBA. She shot the ball quite a bit better earlier in the year. She had a crazy shot to beat the Lynx, and also when she wants to, she's a very, very solid defender. Jonquel Jones, no question about it. I think you probably the best out and out center in the W, because Aja mostly plays power forward, almost certainly the best center in the WNBA. Obviously, she's from the Bahamas and plays for, is it Macedonia? She plays for one of the Eastern European countries. So she's a naturalized player there. So it's not like she could have played for Team USA, but she's better than any center Team USA had, including Brittany Griner. Heck, Brittany Griner is actually legitimately a honorable mention for this team. I keep forgetting about her. Then we're going to go Sabrina Ionescu. Sabrina Ionescu was, like, she went from averaging over 20 to 18.2 points per game. Like, by the way, she was averaging 19.4 points per game 3 games ago. She had a disaster end to the year. Like, she would have been on my all W first team 9 days ago. But she had a disastrous end to the year. Like, she was missing everything. She was not even, like, she went from playing at an MVP level to not even close to an all-star level post-Olympic break. Like, if we picked a post-Olympic break all-stars, or we picked the top 24 players in the W, Sabrina Ionescu would not be on it. Then we're going to go Kayla McBride. 15, 2, and 3. She did it on the best shooting efficiency for a guard in the WNBA while playing elite defense. A perfect player for the Minnesota Lynx and what they need. And yeah, I'll throw Alyssa Thomas in as well. I don't even think she's the best player on her team. Give me Carrington over Alyssa Thomas any day. But she does quite a lot. She's like pre-Yips Ben Simmons. Well, he kind of always slightly had the yips. Like, she can't shoot from more than 7 feet away from the basket. She's got 2 torn labrums in her shoulders, but she's a good defender. She's got decent vision, and she rebounds well. So I'll give her second team, but I'll reluctantly give her second team. So for the awards, Coach of the Year, Cheryl Reeve. That one should be very obvious. 6th Player of the Year, I'm going to go with Tiffany Hayes. A lot of people are going to put Leonie Fiebich there, but the problem is that Fiebich was better as a starter. If you look at all the good games Fiebich played, a lot of them she was a starter. She was the first starter in for the Liberty. It was the exact same with I'm struggling to think of her name. Sophie Cunningham. Like, Sophie Cunningham was probably better as a starter, and she came in as a starter like halfway through the year. I think she started half the games. Tiffany Hayes, started like 2 games. Heck, she wasn't even starting when Kate Martin was starting. So, without question, because she's the only like true 6th Player of the Year, I think that has put up anyway decent numbers. Then we are going to go with Defensive Player of the Year, or I'll go Most Improved first. Bridget Carlton. I think she averaged like 3 points per game last year. And it's not only that she averaged like 9.6. Again, this is the Minnesota Lynx. This is a team that like every single player is outperforming their stats. She'll play defense. She was arguably the MVP of the Commissioner's Cup final. She hit a huge game winner against the Sun to basically guarantee them the 2nd seed. Like, a crazy game winner from deep. Bridget Carlton has, without doubt, and I mean this, without doubt, her improvement has been unbelievable. I get the Lexi Hull argument, but Lexi Hull sucked before the Olympic break. Like, she absolutely sucked. Like, everyone's going like, oh, she shot 21% from 3 last year. And, like, she's now leading the league W in 3-point percentage. Yeah, that's because she just went on a nuclear hot streak. Like, people are acting like Lexi Hull wasn't shooting 23% or something from the 3-point line before the Olympics, and then just 80% or something through the first 10 games after it. Then we're going to go with her teammate for Defensive Player of the Year, Fee Collier. She's just a better all-around defender than Aja Wilson. Straight away. That's all I can say. Then we've got Rookie of the Year. Obviously, Caitlin Clark. No one's going to question that. And MVP, obviously, Aja Wilson. I don't think there's any point debating either of these. They're the 2 most obvious awards we have. So yeah, that is the video. That is 20 minutes of me talking, and that they are the WNBA awards for this season.